Hi, this is a short video about pinching out tomatoes. And when I first started growing tomatoes, I read and used to watch gardening programs, and they used to talk about pinching out tomatoes, and I was never really clear what that meant. So here's a sort of simple demonstration and explanation for those people who are new to tomato growing and for whom that might be something of a mystery. Although maybe it was just me, perhaps it was just me who didn't get it. Anyway, so the point about tomatoes, this applies to cordon tomatoes, which are these tomatoes that grow long and tall and will continue to grow from the growing point here as long as you let them. They'll just keep growing, and that's the sort of essence of what this is all about. These kinds of tomatoes will continue to put on growth all through the growing season. Which is good because it means you get big plants and potentially more tomatoes. But because for most people in most places in the world there's a limit to the growing season, there's only so many tomatoes that are going to come to fruition during the course of the season. So what you need to do is limit the amount of growth to some extent that these sorts of cordon tomatoes put on. One way that you do that is once you've got, we've got some trusses developing here and here on this one. Once you've got 4, 5, 6 trusses of tomatoes, you would stop the growing point, which is the absolute top of the tomato plant where it's continuing to grow from, and you can just literally cut that off, and that would stop that from growing at that point, so it won't grow any bigger. Then that allows the tomato to put its energy and to draw up energy from the soil into maturing the fruits. The other point, and this is where we come back to pinching out side shoots, is tomatoes not only want to grow upwards like this one, but they also want to put on shoots coming out between the leaf axils and the stem, so that would then develop into another whole growing point from which more fruit trusses could develop. And they'll try to do that in each of the sort of leaf axil leaf axil stem joints. And these are the bits that you want to grow out, because that you want to pinch out, because if you let these grow out, then that will again continue to take energy from what you're really trying to achieve, which is a reasonably limited number of good fruit trusses that can develop and give you your tomatoes. So this is the point. It's these are the things you need to pinch out. These are the side shoots, and pinching out is simple. It's literally, they'll easily break off, so you literally just break it off. There you go, at that point. And you can see where I've done it previously here. You can see this one where I went on holiday, and a side shoot was allowed to develop for quite some time, so it became quite big, but I could still cut that off and allow the tomato to develop along this line to this growing point at the top. So that is the principle. And the interesting thing about tomatoes is that they'll somehow find a way to keep putting out these side shoots without you noticing. So look, there's one down here, quite near the bottom, towards the bottom of the plant, that I think I probably may have pinched that one out before or in that place, but it's grown another one and it's getting quite long. So out it comes. We'll take that one out again. So that leaves you with one clear line growing up your plant. You may have a sort of cut off, a sort of change of direction point like I've got here, but it's still one clear line going up your tomato plant to the top. And even at the top there's a side shoot developing near the growing point. And technically you could choose to leave that and take that. So that's the current sort of growing point. You could choose to take that and leave that one, and it would grow from there. But I won't, because this main growing point has already developed a flower truss, and there's another one developing there. So that's clearly the key sort of growing lead that we want it to take. So we'll break this little one off in there. So there you are, pinching out tomatoes. I hope that's helped, pinching out side shoots to develop a single line of growth to enable you to ensure that you've got all the energy going into the fruit, which is what you want. Thanks very much. This is Martin Cole, Gardening Step by Step. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel and go onto my website at gardeningstepbystep.com. Sign up for our newsletter.